Hey there, guys. So we got a fun little quick app that we're going to play with, and it's called Omnigen. And basically, what we're able to do with this is take elements of different images from different photos and put them together into single photos. Okay. It's actually pretty cool. This is kind of space age technology that we're talking about. Now, this is just a little beginner app, okay? But they're getting it done. This is the way it's going to be in the future here. This is Star Trek stuff that we're working on. So I want to give a shout out to a feller named Vintage for You. He is one of our regular viewers, lives out there in the UK across the pond, you know, God Save the Queen and all that good stuff. And he suggested that we look at this. So I had looked at it before and was like, maybe, but he said, why don't you do it? And I said, you know what, for you, the world, let's go ahead. So we have done this. We're going to go through, like I said, a real easy install and get you up and playing with this very quickly. So before we do that, though, please do like the channel, share the video, tell the neighbor about it. You know, when the garbage man comes in the morning, he's making noise, go, hey, and he goes, what? And you say, I just want to tell you, get going fast. You know, have you heard about it? So just share it with any and everybody. I truly do appreciate that. If you want to say your thanks from the bottom of your heart, you're welcome to go over, and YouTube has allowed us to sell these super stickers, so you can put $1.25. I can buy a Big Mac. Well, I don't know if I can get a Big Mac, but I might be able to get like a chicken burger for that, and that certainly is always appreciated. So, but regardless of all that, we're going to move on with the install and the easy installer, which is available as well. So let's get to the getting on. Yo. All right, so as usual, we're going to click on over to our browser, and we're just going to do a Google search for if you say it like that, it's like I'm a Buddhist or something. Omnigen, and we're just going to type GitHub. Okay, GitHub is the repository of all good open source stuff. So you're going to find this one here from Vector Space Lab. We're just going to click on it. Going to pop us over here. And as usual, do not just download the repository. We want to go through and see the instructions. Okay, so it's going to show us some examples of stuff it can do. This is actually really good for your poses and stuff. If you looked at one of the last videos I did with animation diff, you can use ControlNet to force particular images. So this can help with that as well. But anyway, so we're going to get down here to the quick start, and here is the easy install. But notice it has this git cloning this. This is a quiz. It's quiz time. Yo, what does this not have? It doesn't have a virtual environment. Okay, so we're going to create a virtual environment, and all you NVIDIA users, what does it not have? It doesn't install the Cuda toolkit. So we're going to have to add those in there. As you're doing this stuff, you just got to get that in your brain that there's certain things that you always have to do, even if they're not in the instructions. So what we are going to do, though, is we're going to pop on over to a command line. Okay, so let's open that up and let's go over to here. There we go. Okay, let's spread that out just a little bit. Okay, all right. Now, I'm going to go over to my D drive because that's where I want to install this stuff. And I'm just going to make a temporary directory to put this in. So, again, what I typically do with stuff like this is I have a folder for videos or image, maybe I'll put a folder called image, and then inside that image folder, then I have all my different image software. It's good to organize your stuff. So, but for this case, I'm going to just go ahead and make a temporary drive, but the same things that I'm doing here are how you can organize and make the actual directories you're going to want to use. So I'm going to type mkdir. That means make directory, and I'm just going to call it omnitemp. Okay, so that way then later I remember, oh, omnitemp, what was it? Oh, okay, I just delete that. But I'm going to type mkdir. Now notice it's going to have made it. Now I'm going to type cd, which means change directory, and I'm going to go cd omnitemp. Easy peasy. If I type dir for directory, there's nothing in there. It's an empty folder. It's like I created a folder. Now I can put other stuff inside that folder. So first thing we want to do is we want to git clone the directory. We want to go ahead. This is where we're going to actually download all these files. Okay. So before I said we don't want to download them, but we don't want to download them just because we don't know what to do. A lot of times people are like, I don't know what to do. I'll just grab everything. Yeah. And it's like, don't do that. Download the stuff if you need it. So in this case, we're going to need it. It's going to create a folder called Omnigen because that's how Git works. Okay. It downloads stuff and creates the folder. So we're going to just go back to our command prompt. Yeah. Oh man, if I could find it. Okay. And I'm just going to hit Control V. Okay. That's for paste. Now Git is it's the application that downloads stuff. If you don't have it, you need to go to your browser and then you need to go Git download, and you got to go through here. Now you can watch my other videos on how to install it. There's just some, it's very easy install. There's just some small settings you got to make sure you get right. But once you get that done, you can Git clone this. So Git's the name of the app. Clone is what we want the app to do. And what do we want to clone? We want to clone this directory, this URL. It's going to create a folder called Omnigen. So we're going to hit that. Cloning into Omnigen. So it's magic. Zeros and ones are coming down invisibly. And then it's done. So now if we type dir, you're going to see it created a directory called Omnigen. Cool stuff. So let's type cd, that means change directory, and we're going to hit Omnigen. So we're going to change the directory we're in to another directory. Now you'll notice we're in it. Okay, if we go back to our browser, you're going to see here the next, that it actually had a cd into there. Next thing it wants us to do is to install the app, but we don't want to do that yet because we want to create our virtual environment. Our virtual environment keeps us from polluting our systems. A lot of people come to me and they their systems aren't working, and I just have to say, I'm sorry, your system's so polluted that I can't really help you until you actually redo your system. And so imagine like you had a table and your kids are painting on it and they get screen paint and yellow paint and you're always kind of washing it off, but after a while there's just paint on it that you can never get off. And that's kind of what happens with our system. It gets polluted. Okay, so what we do instead is we create a virtual environment. It's like putting crepe paper over a table so that then when the kids are painting, it gets on the crepe paper and not on the table. When it's done, we can just crumple up that paper, throw it away, and the table is pristine. Okay, so same way, that's what we're going to do here. So to do it, we're going to type Python. So Python is the app that we are calling. We're going to use -m, says we're going to run something as a module. So it's like we're kind of running it like an app. And the app we're calling is Venv. That's the virtual environment. See, V-env, virtual environment. Okay. Now we're going to give it a name, and we're just going to call it Venv. That's kind of the standard. You could name it whatever you want. You could name it Fred. You could name it My Environment. You could name it this is the best darn virtual environment ever. You could name it that, but then you would have to type that in every time. So instead what we do is we just call it Venv. Okay, so it's going to go ahead and create that virtual environment, but it's going to create the folder. So if we type dir now, we can see it created it down here, but now we have to use it. So just like I could be like, hey man, I got this crepe paper for the table so the kids ain't gonna get paint on there, and if I don't put it on the table, it doesn't matter that I got it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this word call, which means it says we want to actually go look for something and run it, and we're gonna call it from the Vim folder. And then inside of that Vim folder is another folder called scripts. And then inside that folder is an application called activate. Okay. Now notice it called it. And now we are in the virtual environment. See, if I hit enter, see, it's keeping us in that virtual environment. Now I can install stuff. The crepe paper is down. So I'm going to type CLS to clear my screen. Now, before we install the application itself, we need to get our Cuda toolkit installed. Okay, and that, so if you have an NVIDIA You get your drivers when you turn your computer on the first time and install that. But when you run applications, you have to kind of like a pipeline to go and use it. So it's like if you have a factory, right? And the factory has everything you need, and I've got a small store over here. It doesn't matter that the factory exists unless I have a truck that can go to the factory, get what I need, and bring it back. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm still just separated. So the Cuda toolkit is like that truck that's able to go from our app to the factory, get what we need, and bring it back. So we have to install that every time we install a new application. So what we do is we use the word Conda. Conda is another virtual environment software that we could use, but it also is an installer. It installs packages. So whether you're using one type of virtual environment or another, you can use Conda and Python packages. For Cuda Toolkit, we have to use Conda. So you got to make sure it's installed on your system. So we use the word Conda, say this is the app we're calling. What do we want it to do? We want it to install something. Then we put this -c, which is a parameter. And the parameter is saying we want to look in a catalog. Okay, just like if I'm buying from J.C. Penney, I get a J.C. Penney catalog, right? Or I'm buying from Macy's, I get a Macy's catalog, and I can see all of Macy's stuff. So in this way, we're getting NVIDIA's catalog, and we're looking for items, and we say, oh, I want the Cuda toolkit, and which version. They go, well, okay, you want the shoes, you want the blue ones or the red ones. So in the same way, we got to say which version we want. We want 11.8. Now if you've installed Cuda 12.1, you can change that to 12.1, but we're going to use 11.8. Then I'm going to put a -y, and that's just going to save us a little bit of time. And when it prompts us to say, do you really want to install this, it's just going to say yes on our behalf. Okay, so mine's already installed, but yours will take just a few seconds to go through there. Okay, so we're set now. Okay, so now if we go back to our browser, now we can go ahead and grab this little command there. We're going to hit Control-C. All right, then we're going to go back over to command prompt. And, good Lord. Okay, now I want to hit Control-V. So pip is kind of like how we use that Conda. Notice it says pip install. The last one we used was a Conda install. So pip is the Python package installer. So it's going to go ahead and install all the packages needed for this application. And in the application, this dot means that they actually had a setup file for us. A lot of times we use a requirements file. In this one, they have it set up for us. All we got to do is put that -e, and then we're going to hit the period, which means everything. Okay. And we're going to hit enter, and now it's going to see it's building our dependencies. Now it's going to go the heavy lift and starts going, and this will take a few minutes. If you don't have stuff downloaded, it will download it into the cache. Okay, and one of the things that this is going to do is it's going to download Torch, and it's going to download Torch audio or video. Okay, so these are packages that help us to create stuff fast. We need them for our Cuda stuff to work fast. Now, when you're typically installing these applications, they don't always give you the right version of Torch, because us NVIDIA users, we're using Cuda. So that means that we need Torch, but we don't just need Torch. We're going to need the Torch that's built for NVIDIA users. So it's the Torch with Cuda. Okay, most of these apps do not out of the box give you the Torch with Cuda because they're trying to be expansive for everybody. So like if you're an AMD user, you don't need to worry about, you just install, you don't have to worry about that Cuda toolkit, none, you just install it and it's gonna work fine. The benefit of being an NVIDIA user is that it's so fast, that most of the stuff is built for NVIDIA, and NVIDIA has really doubled, tripled, quadrupled, quadrupled, whatever, down on the AI stuff. So NVIDIA stuff, you just can't get past it. It's fast. So, but because of this, we're going to have to do an extra install. So watch, I'm going to go pip, that's the package installer for Python, and I'm going to go list. And it's going to show us all of the packages that are installed. And we're going to go down here and we're going to see Torch and Torch Vision. But notice it doesn't say with Cuda. So if we ran this right now, we would get an error that says that our Torch is not compiled with Cuda. So here's how you fix that, by the way. We're going to click on the browser. And what we're going to do is we're going to, in the browser, type torch install. Okay. So this is a very important command. You're going to go to this page 1,800,000 million quadrillion times in your career here. You go here all the time. And this is going to give you the torch with Cuda stuff. You can rock through all this. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight all of this. Okay, I'm going to actually keep off the pip because I'm going to add my own pip. But we'll go through or copy it. We're going to delete this torch audio, and we're going to add a little extra to make sure it gets installed correctly. But for now, all you got to do is highlight this. Okay, go back to our command prompt. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control V to paste it in. So I'm going to use my left arrow. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to get rid of torch audio because we don't need it. We ain't working with words. Well, we ain't working with audio. We're going to be working with the torch and the vision. Okay. So notice here it has this dash dash. Oh, whoops. We got to go over here and add pip. So we're going to use our package installer. We're going to install torch and torch vision, and then this is a parameter that says that we want to install from a particular place. So dash dash index dash URL says install torch and torch vision, but don't just install any of them. Install it from a particular URL. Install it from this URL. And now we're going to add one more thing, and we're going to go dash dash force. Okay, and what that's going to do is it's going to say re-download everything. Don't use the cache, because sometimes what will happen is the system will actually install the wrong torch, and then you go and you put in the right torch, and it makes a mistake, and it goes, oh, well, I already have torch downloaded. I'll just reinstall it. Or it's already installed, no need to install it, but it's not taking into account that it's the correct the version that it's not the version you want. So by typing dash dash force, you're saying, I don't care if it's already installed. I don't care if it's already cached. Install it. Just do it. Yo, I'm forcing you to install it. Okay. And then it will go through here and get everything that we need. Okay. When this is done, we're basically done. So if we rock back over to our browser, we're going to go over to here, and you can see the rest of this. If you want to, you can use this to write your own programs. So you can throw that into ChatGPT, you could throw it into Claude, ask it to make you an app if you want. But we're actually done with this page because it's going to give us a demo app that we can do everything that we want to on. So let's go see where we're at. Okay, so we're done. Let's go ahead and get this running. So if we type dir, oh, actually there's one more thing we got to do. We got to make a change. This app.py, okay, is the file that runs, but if you run it, we'll go ahead and run it. You're going to see even get an error. We're going to type python app.py. Okay. Well, okay, so first of all, it says no module named Gradio. Gradio is our demo app. So let's just go ahead and install that. We're going to type pip install Gradio. Okay. Okay, that's going to go ahead and get that going. While that's going, I'm going to drink some coffee. Funny thing about this mug, it says Burt, Idaho. And I thought that was a place. I was like, oh, okay, there's some kind of place named Burt, Idaho. And then I saw an exact same mug somewhere else, and it was like John, Idaho. And I saw another one, it was like Todd, Idaho. I was like, oh, okay, Burt's the actual dude. But all right, anyway, you can have that story for free. All right, so now it has installed. If we go back up here and we run it again, I press the up arrow to go back. We're going to get another error here that says something about spaces. No module named Spaces. Okay, that's because the demo is built for a website called Hug and Face to run on their Spaces. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to type notepad app.py. So app.py is our Python file that runs the demo. We're going to click this, and then what it's going to do is this. It's going to pop up this notepad, okay? And this is the file we're going to run. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove all of the instances of where it says spaces. So we're going to hit Control F. We type the word spaces in here, and notice it says @spaces GP. Okay, we're just going to delete it. Okay, hit the back one. Then we're going to go down to the next one. We're just get rid of this. We don't need that. Okay, and then it's all done. So let's hit Control S. We can close this out, go back to our command prompt. Now, if we go ahead and type python app.py, we're going to hit enter. We're going to twiddle our thumbs, and it's going to start loading. Okay, so mine has already downloaded the models. It's going to download like 20 to 30 gigabytes. It's a large model. Whenever you get into image stuff, they're big. So it'll take a little bit of while for your models to download, but it'll show you it all happening. Now, again, I think mine is already downloaded into cache. It only downloads it to once. Yeah, so mine's going to go straight to load in the safe tensors. All right, and there you go. Running on local URL. So I'm just going to highlight that, and I'm going to hit Control C. Then I'm going to pop on over to my browser. Okay, and then I just got to paste it in there, and there it comes in. Okay, so there you go. The app is running. Congratulations. We'll shake your hand. Happy Friday to you. Okay, now there is, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so we can see it a little easier. There's some wonky stuff about this. This app is not perfect, but let's go ahead and look at the demos. So the woman, we can just click on any of these and it will pop it up there. Okay, and it will actually put the, I thought it was going to put, oh, it does. It puts the prompt up in there for you. If you go to one that's using 2 people, same thing. It'll put it up there. Now, again, the idea, let's go back over here. The idea here is that it takes one image and you can actually prompt stuff about that image, and then it can put it the second image and it'll put it together. So they wrote a man and a woman are sitting at a classroom desk. Okay, there they are. That's pretty cool. The man is the man with yellow hair and over here. So it's able to recognize there's 2 men there, but by the prompt it's able to recognize that it wants the man with the yellow hair. Okay, and the woman is the woman on the left. Okay, they could have also said the woman is the one wearing the black, or the white shirt. Okay, or whatever. So you can use descriptors, and it pulls it together, which is really cool. Again, this one over here, the flower is placed in the vase, which is in the middle of image 2. Okay, so the flower in image 1 is placed in the vase, which is in the middle of image 2. So obviously that one's in the middle. It put it in there. So it's not perfect, but it's pretty cool. Okay, so here's, this didn't really make me look like me, but again, the image of a man and a woman sharing drinks at a jazz bar in Orlando, Florida. Okay, so the man is from image 1 and the woman is from image 2. So it was able to differentiate the woman from the Ninja Turtle, and then it put them together. And I look like Steven Crowder there, but whatever. So that's still pretty awesome stuff. This one didn't quite do it right, but probably because I used my own face twice, but sitting at an outdoor picnic with 3 people. The man in image 1, the man in image 2, and the cartoon character female in 3. And notice it actually did it all in a cartoon style. So that's pretty smart stuff. Now, notice though, the way you can read all the directions here. Notice here, you have to do it a particular way. So when you're referring to image 1, you've got to write it like this. Inside of greater than less than signs image. Okay, these are actually HTML tags. And then you have to put image 1. Oh, and actually it has these pipeline things. I didn't realize that. So you got to add these pipelines. Let me go bigger so we can see it here. Okay, so you pipelined in image 1, and then you got to close it. Okay, and you have to do it. The woman is on the left of image 2. If you don't get that right, it will error out. So probably the easiest thing to do is get something like this up here so that it already has those, and then you can go in, you can pick whatever images you want. My images are kind of lacking. Let's see here. Okay, and then you could actually go in there and change it. So what I would do is something like this. Take the glasses from the man, or take the sunglasses. Let's just say take the sunglasses in, and then I would just change it like this in image 2. And put them on the man in image 1. Okay. Now I don't know how good this will work because this has got a lot of stuff in here, but that's how you do it. Okay, and so if you just want to get going fast with this as well, the install is not that difficult, but if you want to just get it going, you can, as always, just head on over to patreon.com/cognibuild. Okay, and you'll get there, and you can find underneath the if you click on your collections, find it under member exclusive software, and you'll find it here, and you can just get it and just download it to the folder you want to install it in. It looks like something like this. And you'll just get a zip file, just extract it, and then all you gotta do is click on the install. Okay, it'll install everything for you. Then when you're done, click run. Okay, and that'll get you going fast. Okay, well, so there you have it. We went there, downloaded the repo, created our virtual environment, installed our Cuda toolkit. We installed the application, and then we remembered to install the correct torch. We had to go into the app and remove some stuff from the actual file itself, ran the app, the stuff downloaded, and then we were gold. We were just walking in the tall grass there, feeling good about ourselves. So there we have it. All right, that's pretty cool. This tech is honestly, this is the future tech. This is the, like, take this, take that. I don't know if you've been watching what's going on with Facebook and their new Meta glasses and all that. They're actually doing that, where inside the virtual world you can just kind of make a camera of objects. This time you can say, put these things together. So this really is the future of where we're getting at with the computers, and it's exciting. And it hasn't even been a year, guys. Like, I started this about a year ago. Okay, and we've come like we're on another continent, man. We've gone from West Coast to East Coast, in just a few months. And so just imagine where we're going to be in another few years. Very exciting stuff. So we are here at the ground floor of it, and we're doing it together, and I certainly have been enjoying my time with you. So you guys stay good as always. We're going to catch up with you later, and as usual, share the the safe for work stuff that you're generating, because I want to see it. All right, and you be good and be good to each other. We'll catch you later on the other side. Yo.